Here are the 285-pound brackets from both the North and the South, our final preview predictions of these two tournaments. And this weight class features a lot of returning regional qualifiers, both North and South. You look at there's some like 7 or 8 returning regional qualifiers just in this, and of that, 3 of them are returning state qualifiers in LaVenture, Miller, and Harar, off the top of my head. So we look at, you got 3 in up top in the North, and I think 4 down in the South, or another 3 at least. But Mike Miller is the 1 seed from Plymouth Whitemarsh. He was a regional runner-up last year, and state qualifier. It's a match away from a state medal. You got Vincent Corporales, who from PV, who's undefeated in the season. Manny Allen from Pottsgrove, return regional qualifier, undefeated in the season. Frederick Redder from Quakertown is 16-1 with a win over Mike Miller from Plymouth Whitemarsh. Joe Collins, a freshman, 13-4. Then you have Max Farrar, who's undefeated from Rock North, and returning state qualifier. Shout out to him. Recently committed to Bucknell as well. So a lot of talent here in this weight class. But I also think that there's not every guy in this weight class has the ability to compete for a chance to get to that regional tournament. I think Miller beats Moser in that first round matchup. And I think probably the best first round matchup in this weight class will be that Corporales Manny Allen match. But I think in a battle of 2 undefeated wrestlers, I think you'll see Manny Allen win that and get into the semifinals against Mike Miller. Redder and Collins, I think Redder wins, and Harar and Brennan, I think Harar's the guy to beat there. Harar and Redder, I think, will be a really good match, considering Redder is 16-1 on the year. He does own a win over Mike Miller. He has shown that he can compete at a high level, and he'll be tested there. And it'll be Harar, who he will push Harar in that match, in my opinion. Ultimately, I think Harar wins. We set up Harar Miller. I don't know, that's like 2nd or 3rd time they've wrestled. Not this year, though. And I think Miller gets the win for the PW Colonials, stamps it and wins the North, and heads into the region tournament next week as the one out of the North. As we dip down to that consolation bracket, you got Moser and Corporales. I think Corporales wins that match. I think he's a little too much for Moser. A little too able to move too well for him. Collins and Brennan, I like Collins in that match. I think you see Redder and Allen after their drop down of the losses in the semifinals. I think Redder gets the best of Corporales, and Manny Allen gets the best of Collins. And I like this Allen-Redder matchup. Manny Allen, the older brother of Trent Allen from Pottsgrove, both tough kids, 2 different wrestling styles, 2 different kids. I mean, talking about brothers that are different, but both, one thing they have in common is toughness. And I like Manny Allen to win this match. Again, he's been there before. He's been in these tough matches. At the regional level, this is not going to be something new to him. I like his chances to win that match, take 3rd, giving you Miller at 1st, Harar at 2nd place from Rock North, Manny Allen Pottsgrove 3rd, and Frederick Redder from Quakertown, your 4th place finisher. Now, as we look at the South, and we put a wrap on this, Julian LaVenture, 5-0. He's returning state qualifier from Upper Darby. Nick Mahoney has been around. Seems like he's been around for a long time in Garnet Valley. Always has guys like, I think I said at some point, Garnet Valley is one of the schools that I really admire their body of work over the last few years. I think they get so much out of their kids. And, Mahoney's no different. Robert Terra having a nice senior season. Robert Terra is a guy that, he's one of those heavyweights, a pinned or be pinned type of guy. He can pin you from like almost any position. He is really dangerous heavyweight. Matt McHale, he's an undersized heavyweight, but he just goes out and competes. He just constantly just works some more. Times it works against him when he hits those larger heavyweights, but I do like his motor. I like what he brings to the table. Bailey Schindel is an undefeated sophomore from Kennett. Faribault has a few wins under his belt this year. And then Daytrell Jerome returned regional qualifier, another tough guy out of Radnor. If we look here, I think LaVenture gets to the quarterfinals, being McGuire from Coatesville, Mahoney beating Tara, McHale beating Schindel, and then Jerome beating Faribault. In the match of the weight class before the finals, I think it's going to be McHale and Jerome. I think McHale wins it. I think his motor is going to be a little bit too much in that match. His ability to be nonstop movement and be a little bundle of energy is going to be in his favor. I think LaVenture beats Mahoney in a match I believe is the rematch from, this might be the third time they've wrestled this year, a rematch from the Central League final. LaVenture wins again. I think LaVenture ultimately will be too much. He'll be too much of a mixture of athleticism and size for McHale. He'll be able to match McHale's athleticism, and I think the size ultimately will be the deciding factor in why he beats McHale. And if we look at the wrestlebacks, we got McGuire and Tara. Tara takes care of McGuire. Faribault takes care of Schindel. Mahoney and Jerome coming down on those drop downs. Both of them picking up wins, with Jerome beating Mahoney for third place. So that leaves us LaVenture, McHale, Jerome, and Mahoney, a weight class dominated by the Central League. They just had great heavies this year, and it's going to show here. So, wrapping this up, and I'm going to give predictions for the two tournaments. I'll talk North first as far as a team race. I think Council Rock South is the team to beat up there, and I don't know of a team that's gonna compete with them. I think from the sheer volume of guys that they're gonna get through is gonna be what it's gonna be the difference maker for that tournament. It's just everyone's competing for second place, and I know I praise Council Rock South a lot, but it's something to be said about them being there year after year. The South, I think, is a little bit tighter. There's going to be, I think Springford is in the conversation, as is Westchester Henderson. And I guess I should say, I think second place in the North, before I get ahead of myself, I think Quakertown's the next best team. And again, they're going to put a lot of guys through, so they're going to hang around for, in finishing that second place spot. But getting back to the South, I think Springford, it's going to be a two-horse race between Springford and Westchester Henderson. But where Henderson will get a lot of guys through and get guys to regionals and get guys far in the tournament, they don't have the star power that Springford's going to have, that where they're going to have two guys that might win the district tournament, scoring bonus points in every match they wrestle, like the Springford has with Milano and McGill. And then you factor in Ortlip and the Smiths and Needles, Cushman. So, they not only have numbers in the tournament, but they have guys that are going to win matches. So that's I think that's going to be the difference. Henderson's going to have McMonigal, who's going to might win bonus points every single match. Delaney, Hampton, Cortez. Those guys are going to score points, win matches, and get through, just not the same rate. So, safe picks and, in my opinion, maybe easy ones. I'm going Springford in the South and Rock South in the North. Folks, that's what I have for you for as far as predictions, previews of these two tournaments tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing a lot of good wrestling. If I had to venture a guess, I'm starting my day in the South and maybe making my way up north. I don't know, just to see how things go. I'm not sure what our plan is yet and what we're covering. So just stay tuned for that announcement as well. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Looking forward to maybe creating some chatter on the forum over these picks. Again, feel free. Put your picks out there. Put your name on them too. And we can have some discussion about them. Thanks for support of PAWrestling.com and all that everyone does. With that, thanks. Take care. Bye.